Yo, what's going on, everyone? It's Brian and Jim here, Drink a Beer and Play a Game, and welcome to another episode of the Power Hour.
Yes, hello everybody. Welcome to episode 170. Good to be back once again.
Yep.
On a week off a week. On a week off a week.
Chambers took a little vacay.
Yep.
And, yeah, I was catching up on a lot of video shit we were doing. And also, if you are listening to the podcast, you will notice we have our updated logo finally, because I didn't realize that was not updated.
What, on iTunes?
On anything. For some reason, I never update it.
Oh. I mean, I didn't realize the iTunes, but it just always shows our logo. So that's always just been like that forever.
So it should be changed, as well as,
cool.
If you ever noticed, if you listen to us, for some reason, iTunes and Spotify only limit it to the last 10 episodes we did.
I thought that was like a default thing.
It was until I changed it in our code.
Ah.
So, in theory, you should be able to see all of our old episodes now.
So binge away.
Yeah. So watch, rate, and review us, please.
Yep. Anything helps. But yeah, we're back. I took a little vacation down to Cape May, New Jersey. So, or actually Strathmere. A little bit of Cape May mixed in there. So yeah, good time. Drank my dick off. Actually, by the time like Saturday came, because Saturday's when we checked out. And the wife was like, all right, let's, hit this one spot and then we'll go to a winery and then go home. And so like the day before was like the first day that I was stupid hungover for the first time because we finally broke into the Tully that night.
Okay.
So that day I just powered through instead of like taking a nap. I was like, it's my last day. I'll just power through, enjoy the day. So the next day comes extra dead. So we go to this spot. It's called the Rusty Nail in Cape May. Never go there. If you like overpriced drinks and overpriced food with no flavor to them and extremely slow service.
This is a winery, right?
No, it's just like a beachfront. It's not like beachfront, but like it's right along the main like ocean drag down there.
Okay.
On the ocean side. So like it's always a busy spot for some fucking reason. And we were there and it wasn't busy. And it still took goddamn forever for everything.
Were you bitchy with your orders?
No, not at all.
Were you giving some toot?
There's no toot. we were being as polite as could be. More polite than should have been necessary. So after that was done, we go to the winery, and it's a winery we've been to before, Hawkhaven. It's a good one. But as I'm sitting there, so Brian, you'll get this reference. Do you remember when Homer was trying to eat that like 4,000-pound steak?
Oh yeah.
And like he was so full, Bart just starts throwing meat slices into him to try to finish it. It's just falling out.
Yeah.
That was me after like one flight, where like I just take the first sip and I'm like, I've hit my event horizon for alcohol for the week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can fully appreciate that. So, but then you said you did that Saturday, right?
Right.
Didn't you say you were driving home Saturday?
Yeah. I had one flight. One flight's like nothing.
Okay. Well, that's what I was trying to gather. I was like, wait, are you saying you were trying to drink before you?
No. I was like, a flight's just little. They're very small with wine and stuff like that.
But it's a flight of wine. Now, Jim.
Yeah.
How many whites were you drinking?
This was like the cheapest one we had because we spent more than enough goddamn money already that week. So I got the cheapy boy, which came with like they're probably like the cheapest white, red, and a rosé. So a little bit of everything.
Interesting, Jim.
What? I had some reds at a different winery during the week.
Did I say anything?
I doubt my reds. You looked. You implied. You looked. You voiced. I heard things.
Listen, a nonverbal communication doesn't count in a court of law.
No, it counts. Because you were doing it in the courtroom, you schmuck.
I feel like this is the movie theater all over again. I didn't even say anything.
Basically every interaction we have.
Okay. So did you hit up any breweries when you were actually out there?
Only one I went to was we went back to Cold Spring, which I went to before in Cape May.
Yeah.
And this time was disappointing. If this was my first time going, I probably wouldn't go back.
Yeah.
Because like the beers were fine, but like it wasn't like last time when it all like stood out.
Yeah.
Because like I mean they rotate like basically everything they have. So I had like a couple of their IPAs and they were fine, and I had a sour and it was fine. But like it wasn't like when I had like that sarsaparilla. I was so looking forward to having a sarsaparilla, and they just didn't even have it anymore.
I still am convinced you only like that because you like saying the word.
It helps.
It's a big part of it with you. I know
it helps.
It's a word you like to say.
But it was refreshing and delicious.
Well,
Right, it's like a boozy birch beer. It's great.
I wish I could remember. I know last year, because you go to the same beach every year, and I remember like you went through the breweries you visit, and you said this one was like full of douchebags, this one was this and this.
Yeah.
So yeah, see, I'm shocked you wouldn't automatically always hit up Cape May.
Well, I mean, we went to Cape May the first night because that's where my brother's house is.
Yeah,
But we go to Cape May Brewery every time. Like, I like Cape May Brewery.
but you're over it.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Like, I've been there enough. Like, I don't need to go there.
True. Yeah, and if you've been there enough times, they're not big, like rotating in and out a whole bunch of specials.
No.
So you're not
actually
missing
when I
anything.
first got down there, when we hit the grocery store, I picked up a pack of Cape May Brewing's tan limes. So, like, I was already basically drinking that shit.
Yeah.
So,
Nice.
but yeah, I went through about 5 or 6 cases. Luckily, not all by myself, but 5 or 6 cases of like Coors Light and Keystone mixing back and forth. So
Kept it classy.
kept it classy, kept it as cost effective as humanly possible.
See, now that's what's interesting. If I go to the shore, I go out of my way to get as close to beach style beers as I can. I'm not drinking a ton of them, but I'm trying to not just have Keystones or Coors.
Keeps me hydrated. You know what? I was in fighting shape all week, just sticking to that. Once I went to the harder stuff, that's when shit went down. I will say, one of the more pleasant pukes I've ever had is throwing up after having a bottle of water with liquid IV in it.
Okay, I could see that.
Yeah, it was actually. I'm puking it up. I'm like,
Was it the night before, like the night of the drinking?
no,
or the
no,
next
morning after. Next
Okay.
morning. Like I had liquid IV before bed, and normally I'm like, all right, I do that and we have one when I wake up, and I'll be fine. Had one before bed, wake up, and I'm like, oh boy, didn't do enough.
It didn't do it.
So I chug another liquid IV down, and I'm just sitting there. I'm like, yeah, I ain't staying down. So barely made it to the bathroom in time, and I'm like, this is not the worst puke I've ever had.
Yeah, I can attest to that because I did the liquid IV puke when we were at the convention. I did it the night of.
Oh,
that
yeah.
was my puke the night of, and I would say it didn't feel good, but it didn't hurt more, if that makes sense.
When you puke as much as I do, you take what you can get.
Speaking of feeling like shit, so I had a very interesting interaction with beer this weekend. So Saturday went to my wife's dad's house for a barbecue. He had Fat Tire there that he got for me. So I had I think he tried one, didn't like it, so I had the other 5 and 1 or 2 Coors or Millers. I can't remember.
Okay.
I felt fine. Drove home, felt fine. Well, that night, felt fine. So yesterday, which was Sunday, went to my sister-in-law's for her birthday, and I got Natter Days, which we talked about.
You did send me a picture of that.
Yeah, so we talked about the Natter Days, or somebody actually mentioned it to us. I think it was John Breaks Bad News.
Yes.
Yeah,
I think so.
and basically I was like, you know what? I'm in the mood for something like, I'm not going seltzer, because I can't, I'm at the point I can't bring myself to buy it. Like, I have to not buy it now, because I've never had one that's been good, and I'm not taking a gamble on it. Like, every time I've had them has been at your house.
Yeah.
And I've never had one that I went, I really like these. So I can't, like, just try one.
Yeah.
Until I find one that I would go, this isn't bad, I can't, like, just buy a case or a 6-pack.
I can't fucking remember the name of the brand. It's something goat, something or other. Like, it's not really in stores.
Okay.
But there's a brewery by us up in Middletown called Aristeas. And their house, it's not really theirs, but they stock this one seltzer brand. And it's probably the best one that's, like, out there. I
Yeah.
think it's probably the one that could turn you into a fan. But there's, like, no availability, so you'd have to go up there. The beers are good, too, though. It's a solid brewery.
But here's the thing with the Natter Days. So when was the last time you had a natty? Just a regular natty.
I couldn't even tell you. It's been a long time.
When you did have them.
Maybe I randomly had one at my block party, but I couldn't. It doesn't remember.
When you did have them, how was your interactions with them?
I mean, back when I was drinking natty would be when I would go to like college parties and shit like that. So no matter what, it always ended up bad anyway. I can't use that as a full judge.
So I bring it up for the purpose of, so I mentioned I had Fat Tire, and those are what, roughly 5.8? So
Yeah,
maybe,
about that, a little over 5.
So natties are 4.4 or 4.5. They're pretty low.
Yeah.
And the one I had, it was strawberry lemonade. So I might have had 5 or 6 of those, and probably a Miller Lite.
Okay.
When I say I went to bed with the worst headache I've ever had from beer, like I felt like I was drinking wine. Like when you get those wine headaches, that,
Yeah.
like I was in the middle of the night. I woke up at like 2 or 3. One movement, it was like a tremor through my head. So I took some Excedrin. I didn't puke. I didn't have to do anything like that. But it was just like, now, granted, it could have been dehydration, but it was weird that I had such a reaction.
How many fat tires did you have before that?
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, that was the next.
That was the day before.
That's
so
right,
the day
yeah.
before, 5 fat tires with 2 Coors or Millers. Felt fine. 5 or 6 Natties with 1 Miller. I've never felt worse drinking beer. I ate more when I had the Natties, so it can't be that. The only thing I can guess is we were in a pool the whole day, and maybe like it wasn't particularly sunny, but dude, I felt like shit. So that now has put a stain on like me wanting to do those ever again. Cause yeah, you were mentioning like throwing up or feeling like shit. I can't believe how tired, like I still feel kind of like my head hurts a little bit still right now. So
nothing like a good old hangover in your mid to late 30s.
So yeah, Natter days, you can keep them.
Fair enough. But for something that we might unironically keep,
Yeah.
the beer we're drinking tonight, coming to us from the Heavy Riff Brewing Company, it is the Love Gun Vanilla Cream Ale. Ale with natural flavor added. Okay. 4.6% alcohol by volume. What are you thinking, Bri?
So
I've almost killed mine off. Oh,
No,
a creamy craft beer with notes of flavorful, bold vanilla. Combining a dry but smooth sweet finish, this craft beer is made ready for your next session. File under Rock. It's a brew that goes under 11, Brian. It's got a cabinet there.
Isn't there a song called Love Gun?
Yes, there is. It's a Kiss song.
Is it Kiss?
I think it's Kiss.
Yeah. I'm shocked they're not getting sued like all the other companies that use titles.
Apparently, Kiss, who's like the most like IP whorish thing in the world, isn't as big of a troll as fucking Iron Maiden is.
So, what I will say is, we've talked about cream ales. They are the undisputed king for session craft beers that, for some reason, I don't know why more markets don't tap into it. They are perfect for like if you want to give someone who's only like a Keystone drinker and switch them over. This is perfect. Has a way more flavor than most cream ales because like the vanilla.
It does have a lot.
Like,
and when we first poured
high.
it, like the aroma was just like piercing cream.
It
smelled like a cream soda basically.
Yeah, I love it because it's light. It has like it's saying the little bit of like the vanilla and sweetness, but the aroma is like it's a 10 out of 10 on aroma.
Yeah, I wish it was a little colder, but because I think that would make it even better. I think it's probably better crisp.
Yeah, cream ales are usually best. Now this would be
But this is still good.
Yeah, this is a perfect summer beer. Highly, highly recommend it. If I ever see it, I'll definitely pick it up again because when I find cream ales I like, I tend to stick with those. So, no, good call with that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, actually, a lot of the beer, I brought all the beer tonight, so we're going to be having a bunch of different ones that were more stuff that my wife brought home from St. Louis that I just haven't gotten around to yet. So.
Yeah. But, Chambers, I know this week has been you on vacation. Have you been able to game at all?
You know what? Not only did I take a vacation from everyday life and work, I took a vacation from the Level 50 Club. So okay. I just sat back and just played one of those, comfort games. So
you have a lot of them.
I do have a lot of them. But for a comfort time waster, all I played all week when I had some time, Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist Link Evolution. So, especially with the creator, Kazuki Takahashi, recently dying, I was like, I feel like playing some fucking Yu-Gi-Oh! Dude, this game is so goddamn long. This will not be a level 50 game this year. I am 40 hours in. There are 6 main chapters that go through all the anime. I'm only on, the middle of the 3rd.
So, is it just like Pokemon?
No, not at all. It's literally just playing the card game over and over.
So, so it's like the... what's the thing you and I used to play? The Magic the Gathering, though.
Oh, like Duel of the Planeswalkers?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, but the thing that keeps me going, at least with the storyline, quote unquote. So they give you little still screens that tell you the story between each person from the anime. And
yeah.
That's fine. It's what I just skip it at this point. But what they do is you can play with either a deck you make for yourself to make life easier, or you can play with the story deck. So the story deck's cool because it lets you play with basically all these different deck combinations and different stuff.
But it's very challenging.
It's very challenging because if you've ever watched Yu-Gi-Oh, you know
which I haven't.
Which you haven't. you know that the protagonist always has an underpowered deck, and they get some magic combination together to come back and win the fucking game. So playing story with the story deck, that's like playing on hard mode. But I don't want to just make one deck and do that again and again and again 1,000 times. So like I want to try out all the fucking cards and different combinations and shit.
Which is very weird for you because we've always joked about you on every other game you play. You find the thing you like at the beginning and you never deviate. In Call of Duty, it's always the AK-47, AK-74.
Yep.
Or any gun game, it's like one gun, one loadout, and you never change.
Like we talked about with Ultimate Alliance 3, I used the same
that's what I mean.
like starting team the entire way, basically.
But
Yes.
this one, you're not doing that.
Look, bro, I don't try to make sense of what I do anymore. There's really no point.
I like no. I'm saying it because I like that you branch out. I wish you would do it in other games.
Damn good game. You want your Yu-Gi-Oh fix, you get your fucking fix with this game.
Interesting. Okay, so that's now. Did you never beat this one before?
There's so much goddamn content. I'm 40 hours in. I'm only like not even halfway through.
But I mean, like, had you played it before this year?
Oh yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. No, this is one I've been going back to on and off for like.
Was this a fresh start for you though? Like,
No.
Okay, you just picked up wherever it was.
Yeah, I just picked up wherever it was.
Okay, nice. Yeah, this week, surprisingly, I would say I actually got a lot of gaming in, but it's been more very focused on level 50 and a review we're going to be doing. Finish off the Burger King game. This one is called, what is it again?
Pocket Bike Racer,
Pocket Bike Racer.
featuring Brooke Burke.
Yeah, I'll leave my comments for the review. So I played that, and then I've been, fucking going through the Spider-Man on the PS4, which came out probably like 2 or 3 years ago.
If not a little more. Yeah.
That's another Patreon request we got, and I gotta tell you, it's really excellent. But it's one of those games where there's so many little like side things you can do, and if I had just powered through the main quest, I probably could have beat it in 15 hours. But I keep doing all the side shit because I want to see what else the game has to offer, and it's very incentivizing because like you unlock more costumes and moves and gadgets. So I would highly recommend that game, and I know that's not a big surprise, but open world Spider-Man games I feel like are probably the best of the superhero bunch.
Ever since like the PS2 era, they've been kind of hard to screw up that bad.
Yeah, it's so the same fun we had with Superman and
Superman Returns.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like the swinging through New York and all the things you can do, it's just done seamlessly. So I can't recommend that enough.
Cool. Now I'm excited to get around to that eventually.
All right, Chamber. So before we move on to our Patreon questions, we actually already shifted beers to the King Pineapple Beauty from Center Ice Brewery. This one's 9.1%.
Yeah, boy.
So it's just an
We're recording a game review after this. We should have done that first.
So all it says, it keeps it simple. It's an IPA brewed with orange zest and pineapple. So, when you read this, what we should be getting is strictly pineapple and orange zest. But it's an IPA. It's not a hazy. So that's important to note. So I do smell pineapple.
I get a lot of
orange,
pineapple with the aroma.
but that's what's interesting.
aroma.
Most regular IPAs, you're still going to get a lot of bitterness. So let's see. There's a little bit of citrus, but still a little bit of that, a lot more bitter. It's not as citrusy as a hazy would be. Like you get the pineapple. I don't get.
But I'm not getting a lot of bitter though.
No, but it's still like it's not like a hazy where it's going to be very full of the fruit and the citrus. It's not bad.
I don't know. I'm getting. Maybe
Where did you get this from?
It's another one that was brought back from St. Louis. So
Gotcha.
I think Center Ice is from St. Louis
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's Missouri, but
or somewhere in Missouri. Close enough.
nice.
I forget. I actually think Center Ice might. I don't know if they shut down or they stopped some production on stuff. I know one of them they had like used to have brewery tours and shit, but like they weren't doing it anymore. They like closed their brew pub or whatever. So
Jim, could this be a collector's beer?
could be. Same the can. I'm drinking my future right
I was
here.
gonna say, what if you went home, looked at the value? It's like worth $6,000.
Well, it'll be like when I sold my Yu-Gi-Oh cards for pennies on the dollar.
Jim, hindsight's 2020.
Sure, as fuck is.
Jim, don't hold on to things like people did the Beanie Babies.
Bri, all I do is hold on to stuff.
So what?
If I know what I'm doing, Bri, I know how to buy high and sell low. That's what I do.
Gotta get someone rich, Jim.
That's pretty kind of name, sure. But you can help us get rich by going over to patreon.com/DrinkABeerandPlayAGame, where for as little as $2 a month, you can ask a question that we will answer on each and every single one of these Power Hour podcasts. Before we get into the questions,
Yes.
this week, subject to change, but we should be recording our bonus episode.
Yep.
Good old Nerdy Nick, as we will be reviewing Tommy Wiseau's The Room.
Yep.
I am 4 minutes and 30 seconds into this movie.
So you're already into perfection.
This is the longest 4 minutes I've ever sat through. I cannot wait to talk about this fucking movie and you fucking people who memed it into something successful for that asshole. I hate all of you.
And you know what? For this episode, I will give the link to the complete uncensored movie because apparently nobody cares. So you get to see full nudity, full cursing, full everything. It's just on YouTube. So enjoy it. And come over and listen to us as we review it.
Yep, we'll definitely be posting it all over when the episode goes up. So, and not wait. But to something actually enjoyable from our Patreon. Brian, first up from Alex Perez. Shit, missed my questions for this week. Holiday, got timing, blah, blah, blah. What are some games that you guys loved back in the day, but when you went back to them later on in life, you wondered what the hell you were even thinking, and vice versa?
You know what? We've definitely hit a couple of them. I know for me, one that didn't age quite as well. I still enjoy it, but it didn't age as well as it should have. It's Kid Cool.
Kid Chameleon, you mean?
Yeah, Kid Chameleon. And also, I had a big love for the game you have, the Eternal Champions.
Yeah.
As a kid, but I never got far with it. I just remember thinking it was awesome. And when we went through our replaying all the old like fighting games, I was like, this aged like shit.
Yeah, it's not great.
So yeah, that and Kid Chameleon, it's they're not ones I'm particularly going to be going back to.
Yeah, one that stands out for me is when we went through Fighting Force, because that was a game I played the ever living shit of back in the day.
Time.
And like when we went back to it for our review, I was like, I still enjoyed playing it, but like it was like it's rough to go
It's
to.
really rough.
Yeah.
I mean, we talk about it all the time. PS1 and 64 aged the worst.
One of the toughest generations to go back to.
Yeah, so
And for a game that I didn't really love, but went back to, and I was like, man, this is really good. Decap Attack on the Genesis. As a kid, like I had it and I played it a bit, and I was like, this is okay. But then, like when I went back as an adult, I was like, holy shit, this is really good.
This is awesome. Yeah. I can't think of the inverse there of one that we've played and that I went back to. Yeah, it's unfortunately, I think I've revealed the rose tinted glasses of my youth, and like replaying games has usually made them fall down. I haven't yet come across one where I was like, this was actually awesome. But yeah, I mean that's what nostalgia will do to you. It'll make you think a game is better than it is.
Yep, for sure. But no, good question. Next up from Burn Retinas, what is your favorite team sports logo, and which one sucked the hardest? I got two quick ones for the best.
Best.
Phoenix Coyotes and Anaheim Ducks. Talking about their early ones. For the Ducks in the 90s, for the Coyotes in the early 2000s.
But are the Ducks really just because of the Mighty Ducks?
Yes.
Okay. I respect it then.
Both the movies and the TV show. It's a goofy ass logo. It's a fucking
It is.
old school goalie mask in the shape of a duck. It's awesome. Nice, you know what? I'm a sucker for nice bright green colors on a jersey too, because like I've always been a big fan of like the San Jose Sharks. Like they're more turquoise, but like I've always loved their design on their shit too.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Sharks. I always like see when I tie my favorite logos, it's usually to the starter jackets of the '90s, and yeah, the Bulls. Obviously, I mean you can't help but love Michael Jordan, but I also like the red, black, and like white, like that the color scheme.
It's a logo they never fucked with because they never had to.
Yeah, it was very simple. Liked it. I still think I like the old school Eagles versus the new one.
Oh,
where it was
God,
the full eagle.
Yeah. Kelly Green, full eagle, way better.
Yeah, I really, really like that one. You know what? I also like the fuck, you were saying it. No, I think I just like the colors of the Magic. I was gonna say the Hornets.
Okay, yeah.
I like the color scheme of that too, and to me that was the most '90s color scheme.
Yeah.
Especially, and once again, I'm going to starter jackets, so those are the ones I would see the most. So I always associate. You know what? I will revise. One I always like is the Raptors.
Raptors is a cool one.
Yeah, especially was it late '90s, early 2000s?
Yeah.
Like, it's a fucking dinosaur. Of course it's cool.
Yeah, when it's still like a dinosaur and now with like its weird swooshy looking
Whatever the
thing
hell it is now. Yeah. So, yeah, those are kind of my go-to. Yeah.
You know what else? Man, fucking the old Houston Oilers.
Yeah. I mean, they...
Or like the it's not even that great. Or like, you know what? Fucking Hartford Whalers. Man, that is a good classic jersey right there.
The Whalers?
Yeah.
Wait,
Hartford Whalers, the Quebec Nordiques, all these classic ones that got ripped from us.
Well, see, I was always a big fan of...
I gotta say, hockey jerseys and logos are always like better than most of the others for some reason.
For sure. Like, I'm trying to think. What's probably the weakest? Probably baseball.
Yeah.
Baseball, I'm trying to think of what is the best baseball logo. And they're all boring because they're mostly just letters.
Yeah.
There's nothing that stands out that's like, it's a cool animal or a cool this or a cool that.
Yeah, it's tough.
Like, yeah, hockey has the cool... Hockey and basketball probably have the coolest. Like, even football, a lot of them are... Yeah, I'm trying to think.
No, football's got some good ones.
They got some good ones, but, like, I think, like, ones that could be cool, like the Bears, never had a fucking bear.
I mean, unless it was all the way back in the day.
Yeah, which I don't know enough about that, but I'm
But
trying...
then again, they're such an old franchise that they're one of the ones that had, like, nothing on their helmets forever, too.
Yeah, so... Yeah, I think hockey and basketball are probably tops as far as logos go.
Yeah. So, like, the worst. What would I say for, like, the worst logo?
It's tough because if you choose anything that's a letter, then you'd have to apply that to, like, everything.
Yeah.
Unless it goes down to color scheme. Like, all right, let's put it this way. Who's got the worst color scheme? The Browns? Well, no, now they're better with the orange and everything.
Yeah, I don't mind the Browns. I like the bright orange.
Who's the worst color?
Yeah, like, you could say Green Bay for being boring, but it's, like, just classic.
Yeah.
The green and yellow. In goddamn city of Pittsburgh, God forbid something not be colored fucking black and yellow on their fucking teams.
But you know what?
But I got to give it credit. It's still...
I was going to say, I have to give them credit. They're at least consistent.
They're consistent. I go, it's a Pittsburgh team.
How many other... Is there any other city that stays that consistent across all sports?
I can't think of any.
Like,
maybe I'll say,
actually, well, no. So, Boston.
Boston.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
I guess for, like, ones I like the least, like, maybe the Giants, because it just says Giants. It's kind of boring.
Yeah.
New York Football Giants, that is.
Washington football team for changing their names. They're fucking assholes. That's a terrible name.
Well, aren't they the Commanders now, or what the fuck did they change to?
I don't know.
I actually would have preferred to just stay Washington Football Team than what they changed it to. So,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. There's not enough... I mean, I was going to say there's not enough new teams, but we know why. Because really the newest team is the Vegas...
there's the Golden Knights and the... Who's the Kraken? I forget who the Kraken is. Can't remember, but whatever.
Yeah. I want to see more teams.
More teams be cool.
Yeah.
More teams that beat the shit out of fucking Philadelphia teams.
Hey, we have a good esports team.
Hurrah. Are they even good? I know nothing about them.
Actually, you know what?
We do have to go down there. We've been saying we have to.
You know who has one of my favorite logos was the Phantoms.
Oh, God, the old Phantoms logo was so fucking good.
I love that logo.
And their color scheme was great.
Yeah, the
purple
dark
and
purple with
black.
the black and the gold. Was it gold trim? Or
I think it was gold
black,
trim.
purple, and silver or something else. But yeah, no, that's a great question. I like it a lot.
Yep, like the little branch offs. Gets the old noodle to going. Next up from Colin Wysong. Would you want to be Homelander or Soldier Boy? Brian, this is all you because I haven't watched The Boys.
So do I want to be bad Superman or basically indestructible Havoc and Captain America put together? I guess if you're going based on the personalities, Soldier Boy's cooler because Homelander at the end of the day cares too much what people think about him, but he does fly, so you could fly. Whereas Soldier Boy is the only hero that really can't be killed and can also kill the only other unkillable superhero with a crazy chest power. So, yeah, probably Soldier Boy, because he's just kind of funnier too.
Did either of them jump in the pee hole? I saw the pee hole clip.
No, the P-hole was just a random Ant-Man-ish superhero.
I'm going with the pee hole guy.
Damn it, Jim!
That's a guy who gets stuff done.
I still think it is a crime you haven't watched. They take every superhero and do a fucked up version of them, and they do it so, they don't even do the lowest hanging fruit. They do it so well. You have to start watching.
I've heard it's good. I'll probably enjoy it if I get around to watching it.
There's a guy who's basically an Aquaman who fucks a squid.
Relatable.
Damn it, Jim!
What?
Fuck. So yeah, Soldier Boy. I may be him for Halloween.
At least it's not another goddamn Viking.
All right, Viking Soldier Boy. I've never actually been a Viking for Halloween.
You should be a Viking combo of Soldier Boy Tell 'em, the rapper. Mix that together.
God damn it, Jim.
Be unique, Brian. And topical.
I am not going to do what you do and go blackface, Jim.
What if I even go blackface?
Photoshop photo of Jim right here.
At least he said Photoshop. Next up from JD Maines. Will the $12 million in hush money Vince McMahon paid women be the straw that finally breaks him?
Him? Maybe. WWE? It ain't going to do shit. Here's the deal. Do you actually think... I mean, was he not already probably fully on his way out?
No, I 100% think he was going to die there. He would never have given up control.
So you don't think... Okay.
I know the theory is that Nick Khan's trying to, do his hostile takeover, which he might be going well. He might have been the leaker to the board, but...
Who?
He's this guy who, kind of came in a couple years ago. He's, a high-level executive now.
Wouldn't I see? I would have thought it just would have went to Triple H and Stephanie and.
You'd think that.
Okay. Vince is not. Here's the thing. Vince, for all his faults, he's not going to cater to the public. If he wants to stay, he'll stay. Unless there's a situation where the board could vote him out, which I don't know how the structure of that works, but I can't imagine he'd ever be the type of be in a position where he couldn't keep himself in if he wanted to.
Yeah, I almost think it's another Bobby Kotick situation.
Has he ever actually apologized? Has he done?
No.
So that's
he's come out. He's started ever since this. We talked about it last time, I
Yeah.
think, too briefly.
The SmackDown.
But ever since this whole controversy started, I think he's opened almost every Raw and SmackDown. So, or at least he did a couple of them. He doesn't give a fuck.
Well, you and I said
I think there was a report that came out that basically he was in gorilla position before going out, and there were someone brought up the things, and he said "fuck him." So, that's Vince.
I mean, I'm shocked there's not more stories. And I'm not saying there aren't. I'm just saying, I'm shocked this is just one we're hearing about.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's up to 4 women he's paid off now that have come out. Whatever.
I mean, I'm not like you, Jim. I don't support him anymore, so.
Man, I haven't watched in ages. I don't pay for the network either.
I watch his Royal Rumble on YouTube, so.
Yep. So, I mean, I don't give a fuck. Boot him. I don't give a shit. It's unwatchable anyway. Next up from Phony Montana. If your house was burning down and you only had the opportunity to run inside and grab your most prized possession, what would it be? Excluding humans and pets. Okay. Thank you for making it easier.
Yep.
Prized possession.
Prized possession.
Fuck. That's really tough.
I'm probably going to go sentimental on it and probably grab my hard drives that have all my digital photos. That's... Because I'm not going to grab a game system. I'm not going to grab a game. I don't care. I don't have any clothes or anything like there's... Yeah, I would get photos and shit like that. Shit you can't really replace.
Yeah, I mean...
I'm trying to think
every year for Father's Day, my wife has been posing my daughter with 3 letters saying dad. It's this 3 fold out photo album thing.
Yeah.
So I have all the years of her doing that. So that'd probably have to be the thing I'd grab.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you take human sentimental side out of it, I'd probably take my Triforce Terminator toy from Terminator from back in the day. My favorite action figure of all time.
Fuck, Jim.
What?
right, well,
I gave the sentimental
All
pick
right,
and the non-sentimental pick.
Let's skew it a different way. Would you rather grab a system or your games?
Honestly, probably games because they're more expensive to get back.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, it's weird. Like I don't think there'd be too like there's a lot of shit I wouldn't be happy about losing, but
Yeah, called fucking everything.
yeah. But yeah, it's one of those weird ones where you go I'm trying to think like if I try to put like the most rarity thing yeah, I don't know. That is really tough. That's a great question.
Like I don't have a trophy because I never had any sports accomplishments, so definitely don't have that.
I don't need to see that. The trophies, like all my trophies, I think are packed up, so I don't worry about the trophies. You know, but see, it goes back to human sentimental shit. Like I would do shit like
I would almost like grab like maybe like the first Hero Clicks toy I won in the tournament for like winning a tournament there.
Okay,
Something like that.
something like that. Yeah, yeah. Like I do have. I see. You know what it is? I do have sentimental shit, but it's all like mostly goofy. You know, the only real thing would be there's a box I have. So it has my dad, both my grandfathers, their dog tags, and their wrist things from being in the army and shit. And the one who apparently, I guess he killed a lot of Germans because he has a lot of the marksman medals from them and his own like awards from World War II.
Or he was a liar.
So yeah, I have a whole box filled with like that kind of nostalgia. So that I'd probably grab that too. Yeah, that's a good question though.
Yeah,
I like it.
That's a toughie. Next up from Travis Lee. Have video game microtransactions started a monster? So he actually linked an article here from The Verge.
Yeah, it's the one we had talked about, or we're going to talk about.
Oh,
With the cars.
BMW. Oh, you know what? I have seen this. BMW starts selling heated seat subscriptions for $18 a month.
I like the balls.
Fuck you, car people. Fuck you. Welcome. Have fun. Welcome to our life.
What I'm actually amazed is there hasn't been more things with microtransactions at this point.
Yeah.
Like I thought that would spread like wildfire to every industry. Like I'm trying to think of what's another easy like microtransact.
Well, we've always like joked about like how it's like I don't need like a computer screen in my fridge.
Yeah.
But like they're gonna fucking start doing subscriptions to have like an ice maker or something. That's what's gonna happen.
Kind of. It's like, do you want the lights in here? Here's a like. There's going to be a point where
we are fucked.
Oh, for sure. You think you're saving from like, I mean, that was the joke of like cut the cable with cable, and now
that
you
worked
pay,
for 3 months.
Yeah, now you pay way more to get the shit you actually want. Whereas when you were spoon fed and told this is what you get, and you just kind of dealt with it, grass is always greener on the other side. It's like now you have 17 subscriptions to deal with, and this and that. Yeah, the BMW thing was amazing because I looked at that. I'm like, that can't be real.
I love that a car company that just breaks down all the time is fucking the one doing this.
Well, it's also the balls. Like the only thing they're going to do is the same way like you jailbreak your phone. The system, they're not going. Someone will figure out very easily how to jailbreak and localize the power requirement for your heated seats. Now you will void your warranty, and if you're getting a BMW, you have to expect stupid shit like that. But that's the only, I think, solace is that you could jailbreak all that stuff.
Yeah.
But that's a shitty thing to do. Like, how the fuck do you have a monthly subscription for... I get all the, like we have the Jeep Connect, but like a lot of other companies, each one has their version of OnStar or whatever. That I get. It's a monthly subscription for something else. But heated seats? Jesus Christ. Next, it's like airbags. Do you want your airbags?
My wife would fucking die because she uses the goddamn heated seats in the summer.
God damn.
So I would die with fucking bills. I'm the victim.
You spoiled her. See, Jim?
Sure did. Sure did.
You know what you need to do is just unplug her side and then be like, I don't know, babe, it's not working.
Yeah, I don't know. Fucking.
Too bad.
Yeah, we don't have the money to fix it. Shit. And fuse goes out.
Yep, exactly. So yeah, I am waiting for other things to pick up the pace. I guess from a media standpoint, like you're already paying monthly subscriptions for most music shit,
Yep.
movies and TV, so they're kind of already there in a way. Cars, I guess, whatever.
Yeah.
It's a ballsy thing. It's a sad state of affairs.
And then one car company is going to come out with the Game Pass of subscription services for car services.
Well, here's what's going to happen in the future. So if you put on your future sci-fi thing, eventually, you won't have a true paint color to your car. It'll be a nano reflection of a paint you want. So you will have microtransactions to buy skins for your car.
Yeah.
That will be a future. It'll be have the camouflage, and then community uploaded skins for your car, and someone's driving by with a dick on the side of their car. Like, that's gonna be the future.
I do love we're having these growing pains with technologies in cars because, like, it was like a week or two ago, there was some blue check mark on Twitter who made, like, a bitchy post that basically saying that, like, his car shut down every time he tried to start Netflix in his Tesla. Not realizing that's probably called a failsafe.
Yep.
So you don't kill yourself?
So you don't watch it. Well, yeah. Yep. Jim, it's a tough life we live.
It's
You can't
tough out
watch your
there.
Netflix while you drive. That's tough.
It's tough. You got to jailbreak it so you can,
I mean, you know what? What else are people going to do, Jim?
you tell me. Right, how else are you going to watch the Cowboy Bebop reboot as you fucking go cross country? You tell me.
I'll never
We're the
watch it.
victim.
I'll never watch it, so I don't care.
Live action Death Note. You got to do it.
I saw that.
Did you do that?
Oh yeah, I didn't know Death Note was a thing before I saw it on Netflix.
So that's like the closest thing to anime you ever like
that
touched?
was the closest thing, and I was like, this movie's kind of weird. I'm like, whoever thought of this is pretty fucked up, and then I realized it was anime. I was like, that makes sense.
Yeah. Apparently that's like a horrific adaptation though. I never watched Death Note.
I've never watched the anime, the movie. If I remember correctly, the demon thing.
Speaking of, did you watch new Resident Evil yet?
It's on our list to talk about.
Oh, okay. I have not watched it yet, so I can't wait for this.
I won't spoil it for you, but I'll give my opinion so far. I'm not finished it, but I'm far enough to know how I feel.
Oh, ooh la la.
No, but that is a good question, and I don't know where the microtransactions are going to take us.
Yep. So, I hate our whole digital future. And we'll be eating bugs soon enough. Next up from Michael Soto. Well, actually, last up. My girlfriend's family hosts an event called the Beer Olympics every year. The Beer Olympics. Beer Olympics.
Words is tough.
Words is hard. Where we split into teams and play drinking games until we can't drink anymore. Each game has a $5 pot, and it's loads of drunken fun. That being said, what is your favorite drinking game?
I'm a sucker for just classic beer pong.
Yeah, I mean,
It's kind
whether
of
you call it beer pong or Beirut, if you're a fancy pants, whatever you like.
Don't ever call it Beirut.
Beirut?
I like most drink. Like, here's the deal: drinking.
Flip Cup, strong number 2.
That's a strong number 2. I was gonna say most like card games. I kind of lump them all together. Like Asshole Kings, Fuck the Deal, or like all the. There's so many like they're just the epitome. Like my favorite probably drinking card game is probably Kings.
Yeah.
Especially when it's a group of you. Fuck the Deal will certainly get you messed up the quickest,
Oh,
as we've learned.
don't we know it?
But yeah, no, Flip Cup is always good. Then there's like, if you want to count Cornhole, but I've never turned that into a full-fledged drinking game.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Like, you can do the other things like quarters and what the hell was the other ones? I don't ever remember the actual names, but then like the Dizzy where you spin on the
Dizzy
broom.
Bat. Yeah.
Dizzy Bat. But yeah, beer pong to me is like it's just enough fun because you can like kind of talk shit, do this, do that. There's room for comeback. Whereas like with Flip Cup, like if you just have someone really shitty on your team,
Hey,
and he can't flip the cup to
I
save
can
his
flip a
life
goddamn cup.
because he doesn't know how to be gentle
I can be gentle.
or sucks at chugging.
Okay, that I do suck. So, funny story about that. At our block party, we did like a beer relay thing. Mm-hmm. So we're like, you chug, you put it on your head upside down to get the little bit of beer splatter on your head and shit like that. If you do a bad job, goes all the way down, stuff like that. So, for whatever fucking reason, I was first in line, and we had less
God.
people, so I would have had to do it twice.
Oh, God. So you were the anchor, too?
I was a bad anchor. I was a really bad
Oh,
anchor.
my God,
I was a
that's-
horrifically bad anchor.
Well, that's just people not knowing you being you.
My friends and wife should have known better. They know me. They should have known better.
Yeah. Yeah, the shit like that is... That game can get so unfun if you realize real quick somebody on your team sucks. Like, there's no fun in a flip cup game when you're like, we can't... Even if I do great, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Whereas like beer pong, you can kind of make up for it. So, yeah, beer pong all the way. That's
Actually,
my
one
choice.
thing I learned on my vacation, apparently calling cornhole bago, very regional just to like the Philadelphia area.
Yeah, I've actually heard Bago a few times. To me, it's one of those things I don't dwell on. I always
I don't
call
dwell on it, but like when we were at the Cold Spring,
Yeah.
they had a cornhole set.
Yep.
So you had to ask for the bags from the bar and shit like that, give me your ID. So we're like, oh, can we get the bags for Bago? And he's like, you're from Philly, aren't you? We're like, why do you ask? He's like, because we had 3 different people in here from Philly over the week. And the first one who asked, we went, what the hell are you talking about?
So wait, did you call it cornhole or Bago?
Bago.
You call it Bago. See, I call it cornhole.
I flip back and forth. It's one of those things where it's like Mario and Mario where I don't think about it and I just kind of do both.
Just do
Even
it.
though fucking YouTube yells at us every goddamn time we say Mario. So
I'm the worst of. I will never veer from saying water.
oh god, no.
I will never try to bend and say water. I'm just not going to do it. I say drawer,
towel,
towel. Like there's certain things I'm crown.
crown.
Like I'm not ever going to be like
I don't say tagger anymore. I do say tiger.
tagger.
Yeah, that's more of like a South Philly thing.
I was going to say I've always said tiger.
That's how like my family's from South Philly, so like they would always say tagger. Tony the Tagger.
Yeah, I could see that. Well, we have friends from South Philly and from I feel like Jersey that say meth, lab.
Yeah, it's almost like a Boston Junior. Bull,
Yeah.
Soul, Smith, Liam.
But no, yeah, so cornhole, bago, whatever you want to call it, that I played a lot of. But like I said, you don't really make it a drinking game.
Yeah, it's just something you drink as you play.
Yeah. You know what is a fun drinking game? Our old Call of Duty drinking games.
Yes.
And every so often, Jim, I have to rewatch the clip. When you jumped off that edge, there's such a moment of like, you're unsure. You're like, where? I was like, jump right there. You're like, I know I'm going to die, but I have to see.
I had to see. I had to see. I had to see it.
Dude, I look back
Take
at
the
those.
fork and put it in the outlet. It's going to hurt. No, it's not. Okay. Ow.
I look back at those, and you know what? I love them because the rules were so ridiculous. And I love the start of after the very first video we made, your face just is like, after, like, because I would tell you the rules minutes before we record. And then in one video, you're just sitting there, you're like,
Yeah, because they were bullshit.
you're like, this is ridiculous.
Yes.
And I would
It was
love,
made
like,
for shit dicks like you who are too goddamn good at the game.
and I love,
I
like,
knew what my fate was.
after the game, I would be like, all right, so you have 16 sips. You're like, when?
We'll put a link below to the old playlist.
They they're underrated in how funny you get to see the true angry Jim
Yeah. Yeah.
and the bullshit where it really called out like that one video where I think the infected mode where you would miss people by a mile with a knife and you I'm like, you're not even close. What the fuck? You're like, that's bullshit. I should have had that.
I had him. Yeah, you can look back at old fresh faced Jimmy and Brian
In the apartment.
before we were on this fucking platform for 9 goddamn years with all the success.
But Jim, it's so fun.
It's the only hobby I have left.
No, but great questions, everyone. We truly appreciate it, and we truly appreciate everyone supporting us. And once again, if you are listening on iTunes or Spotify, make sure hit that subscribe button and give us a rating. If you give us a 5-star, we'll always read it on this podcast.
Yep. Appreciate the support, guys.
Cheers. All right, Chambers. So we're back. What'd you think of the Pineapple Beauty that you brought?
Pretty good. As I was drinking it, like, it kind of just turned into a more citrusy IPA in the mouth. Like, nothing was really standing out, but I was too engrossed in our wonderful Patreon questions.
Yeah, and also like it didn't quite feel like a 9.1%, which worries
No,
me.
it did not. So
Yeah.
I like we were going through the questions, I felt myself like having to slow my speech down. So I was like, ah, shit, the slurs are coming.
Yep.
Not the racial, but the slurry talk.
You
The
know,
slurry,
just
slurry
saying
mouth.
that is where you get in trouble, Jim. Fuck.
What? What? I mean, not to say something couldn't happen.
Well, Jim, your slurs are only
Bruh,
going to get worse.
Who's to say what's acceptable and not these days? Come on.
Oh, Jim, for your sake, I hope no one. So this can that you brought us is friggin' fantastic. Jim and I talk all the time about can art, and I think you can see it pretty well. But from Ghostbusters, we have the minion of Gozer with the good old Rick Moranis. What the hell is his name in the movie?
I can't remember.
Fuck. This is really going to bother me. Oh, my God. God damn it. It was just on the tip of my tongue. Before we talked about it, I actually thought of it in my head. Anyway, from Main and Mill Brewing Company and Barrel Works, this is their double IPA with Citra, Mosaic, Sabro. I don't know what the HBC 586 is. Strata and Brew 1. 8% alcohol. Like I said, I don't care if this beer is bad or good. I will always get artwork where you give a little bit of nostalgia that I love and you put some time into it.
Yeah, that's artwork you don't pass up right there.
So what's his name? Because I know you looked it up.
Louis Tully.
Louis Tully. I would never have remembered it. Lewis, I would have remembered. Tully, actually, I would have never remembered his last name.
I don't even think I knew he had a last name.
I didn't know that, so good to know. So there's some trivia for you guys.
He's not Vigo.
No, he's not Vigo, Jim.
Not a Carpathian.
But he is a keymaster.
This is true.
So, Jim, did you know that retro gaming is a waste of time and money?
Bri, did you know that Opinion Piece was from the UK? I don't care about their opinion.
Did you know most opinions from the UK?
Or wrong?
It's the reason we left. So, yeah, from the metro.co.uk, we have the article below.
An interesting little article.
It's basically a full-on shit post, I feel like.
I don't even think it's a shit post, but like,
Well,
I kind of get
okay.
the idea where it's coming from, but you explain.
I was going to say, to me, it's more the title is definitely the shit post aspect.
Yeah, well, that's what
It's
all these fucking places
clickbaity.
do.
It's what I would expect from Kotaku.
Yes.
I don't know the Metro that well, and I'm sure they're going to...
We've linked from them a lot.
Yeah, so it's one of these deals where, okay, this could be what we're expecting. But essentially, it started going into the fact that, you know, with PS Premium coming out, they're not shocked to see that some PS1 and PS2 titles aren't being, you know, remastered or remade and being shared the way that Xbox Game Pass came out and, like, filled it with a whole bunch of classics, and which were full of remasters or just backwards compatibility so you could use your own discs. You could tell there's a big bias against Xbox in this article because he's like, well, because Xbox didn't have anything and, you know, PS never had that problem before. If you read into it, the context there is like, okay, clearly he doesn't like Xbox. And his argument goes on further to basically say, and now you have people trying to remake Last of Us, which is only 10 years old as of right now, and there's already been a remaster and
Well, there's the original version, and then there's the HD update for PS4.
and then there was like one more.
Now they're doing a remake.
Now they're doing a remake, and he's saying, like, why do that? It seems like a waste of time. And he looks at all retro games as like, if you're going to remake or remaster, that's just a company's lazy way to put out content. But then he like tries to save grace. He's like, now I'm not saying if you want to go and play Super NES or a Sega Saturn game, that's a waste of your time. He said, but arguably it is because most of the time the controls are so god awful that there's no value in them anymore. I don't know.
I think he missed a good, like, the real chunk of it, which is what he was basically getting at the point that all these current companies milking nostalgia so much is hindering growth and like new games from coming out, which I completely disagree with.
So let me ask you this. you and I have talked about this. The regrowth of the 2D beat 'em up with like, Shredder's Revenge and Streets of Rage 4.
Right.
It's a return to form to old with a tiny tinge of different art style, but ultimately it's a return to a retro style.
Right.
We love most people. I haven't really heard anyone hate on it. That's, to me, a valuable use of time. Remaking and remastering, as we've said, Skyrim, Last of Us, all these games that just can't seem to not stop getting those.
Well, I mean, one thing he brought up was, what the fuck's the new Bethesda game that's going to be coming out?
Starfield
or something?
Starfield, yep.
Yeah. And he's saying, well, it just looks like Skyrim again. And, it's the fault of all these companies trying to, hit back the old thing. To me, I'm like, no, that's Bethesda's fault for never evolving for over 20 years.
Yeah.
They've made the same game again and again. That's on Bethesda.
Yeah.
Like, I see what he's trying to get at here, but I think it's a younger guy. I don't think he really lived through the early PS4 and Xbox One era when it was once again nothing but remakes of last gen games because they had nothing to put out.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's another stopgap, and it's these companies milking nostalgia. Like, I think fucking this Last of Us remake's ridiculous. Like, there's no need for it at all. But they're gonna make their money. At least with the Final Fantasy remake, that was like a good leap forward for the fucking game.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Trying to think.
But I just think like taking a bunch of old games and putting them on a service. Like, you know what the thing is? Like, anyone here's one for you. Anyone who bashes Xbox and they bash Game Pass,
yeah,
their biggest argument 9 times out of 10 is no one cares about old games anyway. And really, if you look at it, like, it's not like backwards compatibility was like a big thing that made Xbox win the console war or anything. It didn't.
No.
Like, it's always going to come down to what new game people want and what is your exclusive and shit like that.
But it's also, we've said before, and I think most people agree, no one does better fan service for their people than Xbox with the backwards compatibility.
Yeah.
Nintendo will resell you the same shit in every different version for every single console. PlayStation is like sluggish to do it, and even with PS Premium, like, it's very limited.
Yeah.
They're like, no, you need the original system with the original hardware. Whereas Xbox, like, did you like the old games? All right, we'll figure out a way. We'll stream it for you, whatever we can do. It's a different mentality. And yeah, it might not be the main seller. If that's all they did, I could appreciate it, but this dude is acting like there isn't new games coming out all the fucking time.
Yeah, he's like trying to say like the video game industry isn't growing because of, throwing some old games on a service. It's like, dude, that's so inconsequential.
Yeah, there's also what he's probably mad about is that people our age who love those games are now able to play it on the latest consoles and are like, that's what we talk about. He's like, but guys, talk about Power Wash Simulator. Like, shut the fuck up. Like,
fucking Power Wash Simulator.
there's just a ideal that this guy is trying to convey that, like, yeah, it's a lazy, these services are lazy for whatever reason, but he's acting like
they kind of are, but
they are, but he's acting once again like these AAA companies aren't coming out. Like Bethesda, fine, they remake the same game over and over again, but then why are they always the best game every year they come out? And they also came out with the best FPS of the decade with Doom. So how are you going to shit too much on their formula for Skyrim and those games, and then they come out with Doom?
Yeah.
And plenty of other...
But I mean, they basically bought it and then just, like, they published Doom, but they didn't really make it.
But you know what I'm saying.
I know.
But, like, I look at that and I go, who cares? Like, whatever... Their big fall down was Fallout 76 going that weird online thing, but when
Fallout 4, 76 in general,
yeah, but Fallout 4 came out, killed it. Whatever the next Elder Scrolls and whatever the next Fallout actual single player, it's gonna beat everything.
Yeah,
I mean, it's the same as like Nintendo. When they wait, they'll resell you every version of their games, but when a new Zelda, a new Mario, new whatever, it's going to dominate.
Yeah, I mean, they just sell. Smash, Mario Kart, fucking Mario, Zelda, instant.
So, I see what he's saying. Could studios do more? Maybe. But we're also at such an oversaturation point with video games. Like, What do you really think is going to be the next big game that's being held back because they want to do these other projects?
You know, Bri, you'll never know because all these goddamn retro games are holding it back. That's the problem.
I mean, we're also
10 out of 10 article.
I also think we're at the peak of video games right now in the sense that there's just like with movies and music, there's too much now, and nothing will ever be able to quite top those charts except for what we just mentioned, some of the major AAA titles, because there's going to be so many niche, like, oh my God, everyone loved this one really niche game that's underrated and the hidden gem of this generation and da-da-da-da-da. But there's so many of those now because there's so many games. You're never going to sit play them all. So
Oh, no.
just enjoy it, UK. Fuck. Drink your tea. Move on.
You know what he's mad about? No one's throwing those goddamn specky games on these systems. Want to know why? Because they're garbage.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that exactly. He's like, where's our retro
Where's
scene?
my beeps and boops?
But Jim, I did throw out Nintendo's name a few times, and I think they're trying to get into a new market here.
Oh, yes. Yes, they are.
So yeah, coming from the Hollywood Reporter, Jim, you can explain this, but they're basically they bought a company so they can potentially develop some IPs for movies.
Yes, Nintendo buys studio to turbocharge IP-based production. So they bought a visual content company called Dynamo Pictures Incorporated, which I know basically nothing about, and all I know about them is from this article, which is saying that they're working with Illumination for the new Super Mario Bros. Movie.
Yeah.
So, but apparently they're going to be that, like, the spearhead for Nintendo to start making visual content out of their other IPs.
So here's my question to you. So they also reference, and like, there are some things, and we're going to get to it very soon. Right now being worked on is the Last of Us series. I forget the other two they mentioned, but like a lot of video game IPs are being developed. There's going to be a Borderlands movie. I think there's going to be a BioShock movie potentially. Like, so they're taking these IPs, doing something exciting. Realistically, and not a smart ass answer, Jim.
That excited?
No. I'd be excited for a BioShock.
Okay, I mean, yeah, done well.
Yeah.
We are out of the era of like Uwe Boll doing all these.
That's
so.
what I'm saying. Like, there can be something done well. That's all I'll say. Here's my question. Other than an animated version, would you really want to see a live action Legend of Zelda or Super Mario? Like, here's a better question. Do you need to see it?
Do I need to? No.
Yeah.
And if it's done right, could it be cool? Like, I think a Zelda movie could be cool if done right. Who's to say what's doing it right? But
I mean, but if you go live action Legend of Zelda, do you just go straight Lord of the Rings style? Like that? Do you base it kind of like, how else can you do it if not like a medieval fantasy?
I mean, it's kind of got to be that, yeah.
Yeah. So, do you want to see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So I look at like.
Do I want to see it? Man.
Yeah.
Do the populace want to see that? All the fucking
the girls that like Zelda.
You got it.
They need new tattoos, Jim. No, but here's the real thing is I think it's very smart. I'm actually amazed there's not more animated series like on multiple streaming. Like Castlevania has its own series.
Right.
Why isn't there a Super Mario, a Legend of Zelda, like all these other IPs easily made into cartoons?
Because they reached perfection in the 80s with their cartoons.
God damn it, Jim. So I think this is a move in the right foot, maybe, by Nintendo.
Hey, you know what? I mean, well, the Mario movie I'll probably give a pass either way because, like, they're working with Illumination.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's the fucking Minions people. So, I mean, if it's good, it'd be surprising. If it's bad, it's like, it's kind of what I expected. I'm not going to expect anything terrible, but I'm not going to expect anything great. But, I mean, Seth Rogen's Donkey Kong, so, ugh. But, I mean,
Jim, if Seth Rogen was anything, you'd go,
You're right. But, if, what do you call it? I'll judge them by what they do after with it and see what they do. So, okay. I mean, it's an unexpected move for me because, like, that's the last thing I expected from Nintendo at this point. So,
well, you and I talked about it already and we've covered it. Like, the Sonic movies are great. I enjoy watching them.
Yeah.
Like, I don't hate them. I think they hit the right tone. It's very kiddie-ish, but it's also like well enough made that and it had the right actors where I was like, oh, I can enjoy this. Not perfect movies, But yeah, it's not the Ooey Bow movies.
Right.
So
Ooey bow.
I don't know his name.
Uva Bowl. But I don't know how no one made that bow joke back in like 2008 when like shitting on him was all the rage.
But you know, there are IPs that you can like. I know it's not an IP of a game, but like a Wreck-It Ralph style movie. Like you can make video game movies done pretty well.
Yeah.
So do it with Super Mario, do it with Legend of Zelda, do a fucking good Metroid. Dark.
I was just about to say Metroid.
Like,
Metroid would be cool.
That would be a great live action movie, but I feel like Nintendo would never have the balls to go the way it really would need to go to be great.
Spooky, atmospheric.
Yeah. Like,
not a lot of dialogue, and it ends with a big battle against a fucking giant, like, dragon.
Yeah.
So.
Do Ridley, I
don't even need Mother Brain. Fuck Mother Brain. Just give me a Ridley fight.
Yeah,
that could be
everyone
the
just
end of
wants
it.
Ridley. But,
Oh, I just stand there in a drawer. Pfft, cares.
Jim, how do you really feel?
I mean, unless they do, they're going to have to do it in like a sequel and have that emotional thing with the little Metroid like in Super, but...
Yeah, they could.
Or you go all over the top. Use the Chozo boss from Dread. That's a good way to start.
Shut up about Dread.
Dread's fucking great.
Get off of Dread's dick already.
Dread is so good.
You played it.
You play it. You play it. You'll like it.
Just because the control is better doesn't mean it's a better game, Jim.
Oh my god, the control's so good.
That's the only plus it has.
That's the biggest plus you need in a game.
No, you don't.
Yes.
No, story. Music.
Okay, the music is very lacking in that game. I'll say that.
There you go.
It is lacking. It's a disappointment.
I win.
You don't win shit.
Listen, if you go by that metric, then Streets of Rage 4 is clearly better than 2 because the control's better.
There's an argument to be made.
But the music sucks dick compared to it.
There's an argument to be made.
All right. I have to... I guess I might as well bring it up now, talking about IPs and how they get fucked up.
Let's hear it.
All right. So, 3 or 4 episodes into Resident Evil.
I've only seen memes. I haven't seen the show yet.
I'm going to keep it as...
base level as possible?
Yeah, as non-spoiler free. Do you know what the show is even about?
The most I've heard is it's just like they created a bunch of new characters in like a zombie apocalypse kind of setting with a race swapped Wesker, which I mean I don't really care about that, but like that's like the most I've heard anyone talk about it.
Okay.
And then just like random screenshots of the bad dialogue.
Okay, so yes, that is...
I don't really know a ton about it.
So it's based in South Africa.
Okay.
In New Raccoon City. They're just calling it New Raccoon City.
Why?
This is...
Just use this...
my number,
5 was in Africa.
My number one problem with Resident Evil, we've said with the movie review we did with Nick, the original Mila Djokovic movies... you know what? I still like 1. I like 2. The rest were a good turn off your brain action movies.
3 was fun. After that, that's when the real downhill went.
And I was, because you know what? They did just enough fan service. Like, oh, there's a liquor. Oh, there's Nemesis. Oh, they're like.
Right. The 3rd movie was Ashanti's swan song.
It,
Let's not forget.
I think it was her only movie, and it showed why. The crows got her, Jim.
Swan song.
But so there's New Raccoon City, which they allude to like there may have been.
Fuck this show already.
And yes, as you said, a race swapped Wesker, which like already, if you're gonna start fresh and do New Raccoon City, like just do new character, like name him anything else, because he doesn't exude anything that's Wesker, like other than he works at Umbrella. But in this movie, in this show, he's like more of just a lab guy. Like he's not this like swab like ends up getting genetically modified. Like no, he's just like a high level lab guy at New Umbrella, or whatever the fuck you want to call it.
I mean, I guess that's fine. That's kind of like Resident Evil 1 Wesker, but
my problem with that is why even use the name?
I agree.
Like, so,
why use the name New Raccoon City?
Like, so right off the bat, I'm like, okay, that's pretty silly. And then like they're just really trying to make you care about a main character who, so far, I don't care about. Like, there's no care. The zombies in there.
Misogynist.
The zombies in there. They're like every. This is my number one problem with anything that makes zombies is like they're almost more of an inconvenience than a real threat.
Right.
Like they're like, oh, there's some zombies. Let's just do whatever. And in this show, the zombies can run full sprint, but still, they're really just an inconvenience. They're not a threat. They did introduce one of the big creature things from the Resident Evil games, which I won't tell you because I don't want to spoil it.
Okay.
Which I was like, oh, that's cool to see that. But like, other than just throwing in little names here and there, like they even throw in other names like Dr. Marcus, but now it's a woman and it's something else. Like they just took every name and they're like, how can we make it the opposite as much as we can? I don't know why you do that. I want one fucking Resident Evil thing. As a diehard Resident Evil fan, that last movie, Return to or whatever.
Welcome to Raccoon City.
Fuck that movie to hell. Fuck this show.
But do you agree with me when I said we owe it an apology?
We owe Mila Djokovic an apology.
We do.
That series,
She showed Bush.
I will. That wasn't where I was going. God damn it! But I
Still
will.
a drawing point.
I will rewatch that series now every year in spite of these other things. Because give me one fucking series. Give me a series. Give me a movie. Start with the fucking mansion. Stay within the mansion.
How have we not had like an actual scene in a Resident Evil movie as cool as like the fucking grid lasers that we had 20 some years ago?
One of the best scenes that did spawn, I don't know how many things. Say what you want about those movies. Yeah, the fucking grid lasers, the Marilyn Manson soundtrack with all the awesome. That soundtrack actually still right next to my WWE the green and black one.
Volume 3.
Volume 3. I have them right next to each other as something I
Was that
listen
4?
to.
I think the green and black was 4.
No, it was 4.
Yeah.
Great soundtrack. And you know what? I apologize to that original series. Why can't you just, for once, stick to the original source fucking material, keep it in a mansion, keep it simple, stop doing the DC thing and introduce everything all at once. Just keep it fucking simple.
Bri,
Why?
we didn't know what we got until it was gone. That's what happened, Bri.
Like I said, I'm trying to leave out as many spoilers. I really want you to watch it so we can talk more about it.
Yeah.
But I'm already like, now my wife, who's never seen a single Resident Evil other than movies, she's like, oh, it's interesting. I was like, yeah, if you don't know the character, give the characters any other names. And you'd be like, oh, it's cool.
Right. Like a side story is fine. You can do side stories.
Do
There's
side
plenty
stories.
of them.
But, all right, Chambers, but on a positive note, and something I did mean to bring up to you.
Okay.
Now, this is as old as late May, early June, but there were some very strongly suggestive leaks that there will be a Titanfall 3.
Oh, I did vaguely hear about this, but I didn't like really see much about it.
I saw two things. One was that there was something actually leaked from, is it EA? I think EA makes them. I get my big studios.
Were they like? I guess they're published by EA. Weren't they like Respawn Entertainment or something?
Something like
I forget
that.
who. Yeah.
But then there was also something where, you know how like GameStop will put out like what the new games are and just have titles?
Yeah.
Well, like on one of the shelves, they showed Titanfall 3 like coming like
really
fall or winter 2022 or something.
surprising.
Which I don't buy that because I'm like, there would have to be something if it's coming out this year.
Yeah.
But there's been like rumors about this for a while. And dude, I know you and I are one of the, we sing for this game. We're like, it's so underrated. Our buddy Jay, he actually just sent me, he's like, he just picked up a copy of Titanfall 2 or showed his son that for the first time. I'm like, it's such a great game.
Like, how did it like not do better? Like, you parkour around and then you jump into a giant mech and then you fight in a giant mech.
I mean, I'm no experienced person with mech games, but I have to imagine it's one of the best imagined realistic shooter version of a mech game that you could possibly do.
At least in like an FPS setting.
Yeah, without having the mechs fly and go super crazy, keeping them semi-grounded.
Like, no one actually likes playing Steel Battalion. We all just like the controller.
Yeah.
And like, the only other mech game I've ever really touched was Front Mission Evolved, which was just like a third-person action-y spin-off because that's like more of an RPG.
Yeah, but
And like that game was okay.
But anyone who's ever played, I feel like if you play Titanfall, you go, wow, this controls really well. The powers are very intuitive. It's definitely not too crazy. It's like kind of simplistic, but mastering it takes some effort. They were also the first game, I feel like, that mastered the idea of you don't need to have everyone be a playable character. You can have bots in there that's fun to kill too, to pad your stats.
Yeah.
And other games have started to do that now, but like they had it all. Like they thought about so many aspects of it. It was fun going around as a person and fucking up people, and even had finisher moves before there was battle royale shit on Call of Duty.
It's almost like they swapped how they should have done it, where the first game was basically just nothing but online multiplayer, where when it came out, we were still at that 360 to Xbox One transition. So people were kind of like, oh, multiplayer only. Where's my single player campaign?
Yeah.
So then, like, it didn't do great, but the people who liked it really loved it. And then Titanfall 2 came out and had a great fucking campaign and great online, and then it bombed.
It just, for whatever reason, fell under the radar. It was a $5 game soon after. So I hope this comes out, and I hope it gets a reception it deserves.
Yeah, I also hope that. Because
But-
were they the Apex Legend guys? Was that their big one? That
I think they were.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they had like a big hit with that.
Here's my only, I'll call it a fear. It's not a fear, but a realization. What we'll probably get is the things we like, but there'll be a battle royale version of Titanfall. Which, if it's done right, you know what? I trust
You
those
know what?
guys.
It'd be kind of cool.
It'd be kind of like a huge
I mean, if
ass
you're the
map.
guy who's not in the mech, you're kind of fucked. But
But that's the same as when you play
pub and you're outside the thing too
pub.
far.
If you have vehicles coming towards you, or even Battlefield, like you're kind of screwed when a vehicle's coming towards you anyway. So
Yeah.
yeah, but I did like the fact that in Titanfall, even if you were on the ground, as long as you weren't completely out in the open, you could fuck up a Titan.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll put the link below. I fucked up Jim in that drinking game too.
That was the first goddamn time I ever touched the game.
Jim,
You want to talk fighting an uphill battle?
Jim,
That was some
Jim.
bullshit.
I'm hearing bullshit left and right out of you because I did better than you in Street Rage 2.
You took my guy.
I did better
took
than
my
you
guy.
in the game that I did better than you in Star Fox 64. I'm just saying. Jim, let the record show. Yeah, you beat me in Typing of the Dead. Congrats.
Goddamn right I did.
I'm just saying.
Usable skill, Bri. You shove your fucking games up your ass.
But guess what? Nobody uses a typewriter anymore. You only use your thumbs, and I bet I could out-thumb you any day.
Don't you doubt my thumbs. Don't you doubt my fucking thumbs.
I don't care how much clans you clash.
Don't you fucking doubt my thumbs. I have typed way more online on a goddamn phone than you have, motherfucker. With my goddamn Twitter addiction.
Actually, that is probably true. So, yeah. But still, Titanfall 3, make it a real thing.
I'm excited to hear that, so I'll get it.
So, Jim, I have one more topic for us.
Yeah, right.
And I mentioned it earlier, and I'm glad it got you mad. No, just hear me out. So when do you think this whole idea of like a casual task game really came about? And I refuse to call them simulators. So like Power Wash Simulator, mowing simulator. Like
I guess I'd have to go with like the first Animal Crossing on GameCube. I think the first one on DS was when it really got popular, but I think the GameCube one was pretty popular.
So I was thinking back, like, okay, simulation, like I know there was Utopia and some other games.
And then like SimCity.
SimCity, but like I look at those as like city management, like something where
it's not a chore game, it's a management game, yeah.
And I can even say like, okay, something like a surgeon, like we're not all surgeons. But I think of tasks that like
Or like a Tamagotchi, keeping your little guy alive. It was a game.
Those were, they were kind of like that too. But like, yeah, I thought Animal Crossing may have been where you get into that like farming, but it's really localized. Not like the games where there was farming simulators where it's like acres of shit.
Or wasn't the first Harvest Moon on Super NES, I want to say, maybe? I forget.
I don't know. But like, I think of that and I go, okay, if Animal Crossing was the thing that really sparked in people's minds, like just do mundane tasks.
Yeah.
Now I know for
Or that game we talked about where you like set up your house.
Yeah. Well, that's my point.
Unpacked.
Or there's like moving buddies. Like there's a level of like Animal Crossing I know is a farming thing and it's more about the people you talk to and you sell your stupid bells, whatever. But there's a level below that, which is, it's Power Wash Simulator. It's fucking mow your lawn simulator. Like shit you could actually do that nobody wants to do.
For fucking farm simulator's been around for ages. Somehow.
And I go, what? Is this really a response to, one, is it trying to get people into games that aren't really gamers, that are looking for a mundane task? Or is it, have people become, we always talk about the pussification and sensitivity of people, but like, are they over violence in video games and they want something that's a peaceful pastime? Like, I don't know what the answer is, and I haven't played, albeit I haven't
Right,
played.
don't you go Jordan Peterson on me calling out those woke moralists. All right?
No, I don't.
We will win.
I'm saying I don't know what sparked them, because I feel like every other day there's a new, like, I feel like there literally be, I joke about you with that flower game, and I know it was more than that, but like there probably will be like a let's paint the wall simulator. Like Splatoon to a degree is just paint shit. Like this idea that went away from the ultra violent, fantastical, going out there saving the galaxy to can you power wash my fucking siding? Like where did that leap go?
Right, you save the world in flower. You do not besmirch that goddamn game.
I'll besmirch all I want.
You do not besmirch.
And you know, you could make the easy argument. Everyone has different tastes, and I said earlier there's a million different niches, but like,
But yeah, now to back to your point, I mean, maybe that is the thing. Maybe it's like me with my Yu-Gi-Oh, where it's like sit down and like play the card game I like. Maybe someone wants to sit there and pretend to fucking harvest crops or whatever. Like it's not a game that I want to play, but you know, if that's what you relax to, then fine, whatever.
I don't know. Like I think about.
I can't even grandstand that much. I don't care anymore. I don't care about anything anymore.
It's nothing. It's true. It's strictly. I want your honest opinion. Like, what would drive someone to be like, I can't wait to play Lawnmower Simulator to make sure I get those corners right. Like,
you know what? I mean, I don't know about Lawnmower Simulator, but what I do know about Animal Crossing, it's that need to go back every day to do that thing, to get another thing, to get another thing.
it creates a routine.
It makes a routine. So for me,
Okay.
as a guy who is painfully somehow still addicted to Clash of Clans,
I know you're one of the few.
I am completely maxed out. I've been maxed out for like 6 months now.
Yeah.
And I still log in every day and
you
do
just-
my
you just
8
do
attacks to stay in my Titan League. And, you know, eventually do like, you know, the little challenges and events they have going on for items that I don't need that just get turned into fucking medals or gems because I'm already maxed out. So they just get turned into gems because I can't hold anything anymore either. But I still just log in. It's a routine.
So it's like a comfort thing,
Yeah.
which I get. Like I said, hey, I think we all have our, like you said, it is important.
I still play fucking Pokemon Go.
There you go. Yeah. I mean,
I walk my dog. I go to the Pokestop, swirl the Pokestop.
you just do it over and
Get
over.
a couple things, do the daily thing to get the daily thing.
So it's kind of like the brainless like activity. But like I said, it does seem the past couple years, the spark of the mundane task game has really caught on. Because I feel like any task now, especially on Steam, and I feel like when it's on Steam, and
I hear
eventually-
Power Wash Simulator's a bitch because you have to like perfectly clean the car and shit.
Well,
too.
that's kind of my point. Is like there is something to it where
Like, I mean, I think that's just another meme game, but like,
it is, but at the same time, it's getting reviews, and now it's on Xbox Game Pass for free.
it is.
Yeah, just like Lawnmower Simulator.
Oh
Like,
shit! I'm gonna have to get Power Wash Simulator now.
all those things have been things that I saw on Steam like 6 months ago. I was like, Power Wash Simulator. And it had these crazy great reviews. And now it's on Xbox. So they're catching enough like Steam.
You know what? I'm gonna have to fucking try this thing. God damn it!
I'm not even saying it's bad. I'm saying, though, think about the original when we were kids. You're saving your princess from Bowser. You're friggin' Link going through and fighting Ganon. Like these grandiose, like, epics
Yeah.
to, I have to get the perfect cleaning of my car.
It's weird because like there were games like that even outside of Animal Crossing. Like,
Sure.
like, but with that kind of idea, like Chibi Robo. It's it's GameCube exclusive, late in the life. You play this little robot who is like basically a little task robot for your house.
Okay.
So your job is to go around and do like basically household chores, but to like manage your power, you got to like plug yourself in and shit like that. But it's still like you're still doing like chores and shit like that around the house.
So okay, so it's kind of like that.
But you're doing it in a third person action kind of setting, so it's a little bit different.
It's done.
But
That's what I mean. Like there's fantastical ways I've seen games. Little Big Planet,
but where it's like, literally just like you're power washing a car. It just must be cathartic. It just must be where you just sit there and go, yeah.
I am not. If you enjoy these games, I'm not hating. I'm trying to understand. Like, how do we get that? Like,
you know what the fuck it is? Power washing's fun.
It is. Hey, when I'm outside
if the goddamn haptic feedback kind of feels like how it's supposed to feel in a controller,
yeah,
when you're doing it in real life, power washing's fucking fun.
I look at that and I go, that is something you could, like, I can never actually fight in Halo or Doom.
Right.
That's not something you can actually do.
I can clean my front steps.
You could clean your front steps. I don't know. Like, I thought of that and I went, it's very interesting that there are more and more of these games popping up. And I was almost thinking of it more like...
Well, no, actually, not to cut you off, I almost think you could go high level.
Yeah.
We live in a world of extreme inflation right now. We live in a world of the interest rates for homes are going up. Property values are ridiculous right now. Good chunk of people will never own a home.
Yeah.
The way it's looking right now, like you and I are very lucky that we're homeowners at this point. So there's a lot of people who will never experience these tasks. So and this is going to be a way that like I'm never going to own a farm. I don't want to because I'm lazy, but I'm never going to own a farm. But who knows? Maybe I would pick up Stardew or Animal Crossing and wind up liking it.
Yeah.
I don't need something that's that much of a time sink, so I'm not going to. But it's something I could like.
But I was trying to think of it more of like when we were kids. It was like the more violent, bloodthirsty, crazy you could get with a game. That's what everyone thirsted for. And I feel like now it is skewing more towards the peaceful. And is that a societal thing or is it a niche thing? Like, not saying there's obviously plenty of violent video games because Call of Duty is still, Fortnite even like is a comic version of a shooter.
Right.
It's violent, but it's not. It's like cutesy.
Yeah. I mean, even Five Nights at Freddy's, like you were viciously murdered when you lost.
But it was
cutesy.
It was adorable.
Yeah.
You know, so.
And horrifying.
Is that, like, do you think that's where it's swinging?
You know what? It could be a thing with, like, a product of, like, you know, social media and everything being so connected and the globalists, where we just know how shitty the world is these days. So sometimes it's just nice to sit back and just play something that's nice.
Power wash your shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sit back there, power wash, feel a little sense of accomplishment, move on with your day. Doesn't sound bad to me.
Like I said, it's not a... it's truly like, I'm curious what do you guys think, because it's something I thought about. I'm like, man, I see these games. Like Jim said, the worst fucking thing you could ever do is move people in and out of places and unpacking shit. And the fact that there's a game that's well received is insane to me. But there is something to that mindless, mundane, like, get it call it a routine, whatever. You're not thinking. There's no real stakes. I guess that's the thing. It's like when you play a power wash and there's no real stakes to it. Like, you might want to cut the perfect lawn or wash it perfectly, but your character doesn't die because you didn't power wash the siding. You know?
Right.
So maybe there's a lot of people out there, it's like they can't handle that idea of, like, I don't want my character to die. Because the extreme of that is like Elden Ring. You die all the time.
Sure do.
So, you know, I'm just more curious, like, you know, when did that really start? So I want to hear what you guys think. Do you play any of these games? What do you think about them? I'm curious. Now that they are available on Xbox Live, I do think I want to try them just to be like, is there something to this?
Yeah.
So with that, Chambers, of the 3 beers we tried tonight, which one was your favorite?
It's kind of... I might go with the Love Gun just because I think that was the most flavorful.
Yeah.
The Ghostbuster beer, perfectly fine IPA.
Double IPA.
Double IPA, but perfectly fine double IPA. Not going to say it reinvented the wheel, but if you like double IPAs, you'll enjoy it. And the pineapple beer was good. It became less memorable when I stopped paying attention to it. Mm-hmm. But, you know, it was perfectly fine fruity IPA. So But no, I would say the Love Gun, the Vanilla Cream Ale. Cream ales need more respect. So give that a go.
I went with the same for me. Number one, how drinkable it was with the amount of flavor for how light it is. That's perfect. Yeah, the Minion of Gozer had the most flavor between that and the other IPA. And like Jim said, the other one, it was fine, but in a sea of IPAs, it's not standing out. So yeah, Love Gun, you're the winner tonight.
Yep.
So with that, we want to say thank you so much, everyone who's been watching. If you haven't already hit subscribe, make sure you do that. Hit the notification bell. If you're listening to us on iTunes or Spotify, hit subscribe. If you give us a 5-star rating, we will review any comments you give us, even if you want to shit on us. So with that, I want to say have a good night, everyone. Cheers.
Cheers, guys. Bing.